Hello everybody, welcome to On the Same Page, a show very much about not being that. I am Jack, and with me is
Neko, and this podcast is kind of my doing, I guess.
Today, we're going to be discussing the most pressing issues at the moment. Toasters. And are they good?
See, there's a reason we're delving into this.
Tell us the story, Neko.
I don't have a toaster. I haven't had one in years. The actual story isn't something that's going to get told. Instead, it's going to be a version that I half remembered. Half remembered isn't actually accurate. It's the story that I believed and then told at work, and now that's just become the truth.
Yeah, see, this is a thing that we run into a lot with you, is that like you'll just say a random thing and then like you'll just leave it with absolutely nothing, and then we're just sort of left, it's like, oh, I should buy a toaster. Oh, that's interesting. Why do you need a toaster? Are you moving out? No, we just don't have a toaster. Oh, what happened to the toaster? We haven't had a toaster in how many years?
5 now.
5 years. So why haven't you had a toaster in 5 years, Dylan?
Because this is the version that I believe to be true. People were very hopeless at cleaning it out, so there was an accumulation of crumbs at the bottom constantly. Eventually, that damaged some of the wires down the bottom, and it became like maybe something will spark and it'll burn everything down. I know, tragedy.
I would like to invite you, dear listeners, to imagine just how much crumb there would need to be at the bottom of the toaster to damage the wires in the toaster.
Hey, you know how you described yourself as lazy, like 5 minutes ago? Yeah, just imagine that, but it's 9 people.
Of one of which, though, is you.
Okay, that makes for 8 people that seem to be hopeless.
The point being is that you're complaining about it, right? You were complaining about the lack of a toaster. And
no, I wasn't complaining about the lack of a toaster. I simply mentioned we didn't have a toaster.
Yeah, but you were
that's not a complaint. That's an assessment of facts.
What you were complaining about was the fact that nobody empties the toaster.
Yeah, that's not. I wasn't Okay, your story is flawed.
You were sitting there going, like I live with a bunch of, dirty people, and they're hopeless and they can't be trusted, and that none of them would empty the toaster.
The fact is, Hobbit says.
But the point that I'm getting at is that you're a man who likes toast, right?
No.
You do occasionally have toast of your own volition.
Yes, but I consume a lot of things. I wouldn't say I quite like most things.
So, but you do with some regularity have toast on occasion.
No, because I don't have a toaster.
I'm talking prior to the lack of a toaster. When you had a toaster, you would consume toast, yes?
I would have toast. I think the occasions where I'm not eating toast outnumber the ones that I am.
The occasions where I'm not eating in general outnumber the occasions where I'm eating. It's like,
this is true. But it's like I can probably only count on one hand the number of times I remember having toast before we got rid of the toaster.
This isn't the story that I was hearing.
Yes, but this is the story I'm telling to retain some of my dignity.
See, now the truth comes out. Well,
no, it isn't.
You make a point. The point being that the story that you told me at work was that you do have toast. And the point that I was getting at is that in all this time, with all this crumb build-up, and you're complaining that the people in your family are
just unwilling to clean a toaster. That is the core. The
point I'm getting at is that you're included in that.
Why is it the responsibility of one to pick up after 8?
It's not the responsibility of one to pick up 8, but...
Okay, so why are you pinning this on me? It's like, I could do it.
But have you...
It's like, well, so could they.
Yeah, they could have done it, but why... they could be sitting there thinking the same thing. Why is it up to me? Why is it my responsibility to clean the toast? We all have toast.
Possibly because they let the crumbs filled up.
But so did you. You didn't empty the toaster.
At a rate less frequent than them.
So you emptied the toaster less than they did. So it sounds to me... That's what you just said.
No, that is... What I think you will find, I at least meant from what I said, is that I ate toast less than them.
Ah, well that's a completely different story.
No, that's a completely different sentence because apparently I didn't word it correctly. It's still the same story, you're just not understanding it.
But you're with the toaster, you're making toast, right? So you make the toast and you're sitting there going like, well, nobody ever empties the toaster. And here I am with the toaster making toast. So you're now making the active decision to not empty it.
Who said I was doing that?
Well, you just said that if you would have toast. If you...
Yes, but I'm not saying I wouldn't empty the toaster.
So, if you're emptying the toaster, then what's the problem?
The accumulation of crumbs that damaged a wire.
Which can't be happening because you've emptied the toaster.
There are times I will go an entire year without toast. I don't remember having toast at all in 2020.
You didn't have a toaster in 2020?
Yes, but I'm making a point. It's like, we have a grill though. Like, now if we want toast, we will cook it in a grill. Which unfortunately led to me incinerating some bread, but that's completely besides the point.
It's so terrible. It would just be so much easier to just, like, even just buy a $15 toaster, like, once a year than it would be to just grill toast.
See, the way I see it is, in this life, if you choose not to do good, you have to suffer.
Then just choose to do good.
I'm going to apply that broad sense of morality to the situation of the toaster.
The way you put it like that, all I'm hearing is that I have made the active choice to suffer.
If you don't empty the toaster, you will go to hell.
You're just like...
Cursed to eternal damnation.
If you don't choose to do good, you will suffer. It's like, oh... It's all you're saying there is that you've made an active choice to suffer by not emptying the toaster. You're just reinforcing my point that it would have been just as easy for you to empty the toast.
I refuse to comment.
Alright, so I suppose the reason we're here is that after hearing this story,
I need to buy a toaster.
What we're doing here is we're going to be looking at reviews.
Like, over the past week or so, we have collected a series of reviews from various websites. We're going to share them with each other and discuss the pros and cons, but mainly just laugh at bad grammar and stuff.
So yeah, I think the end goal here is
I'm going to buy a toaster.
Yeah, it would have been handy if I'd saved the links to the actual toaster themselves, but you know.
I did, because I'm ultra prepared.
Well, I saved the reviews, and I feel like if you really want one of the toasters that's mentioned, you can probably find it based on the review. I trust you. I think you're a capable lad.
Okay, because I was very organized with this. I've got them in folders. I've got 12 different toasters with various reviews for each.
Well, you've done more than me. I've got 5 different toasters.
Oh, okay.
Well, you were like, just grab 20 reviews. It's fine. So I was like, okay, I'll just grab 20 reviews.
Doesn't sound like that.
So, like, I'm just sitting there and I was like, hey, how many reviews? And he's like, oh, just get 20 reviews. It'll be fine. So I have like 20. I did exactly as asked.
But not as you were told.
I did exactly as I was asked to do. You want to start us off then, seeing as you've got a few more than I do?
So this is a Kenwood 2 Slice Mesmerine toaster in white. 1 star. If only it could toast both sides nearly evenly. And it's the nearly part that gets me.
A toaster doesn't have to do much, but this one is not inexpensive and fails miserably. One side overdone and the other side cooks so little it is more like a stale piece of bread. Oh, It also has a lift function. It lifts the toast about a centimetre. Why bother? Going my mixed reviews online, it would suggest Kenwood has an issue with quality controls. Bottom line, buy something else.
So, are we thinking that this based on this review, is this going to be the toaster for you?
Well, no, because it's a 1 star. Like, I think a product is only as good as its 3-star reviews.
So no product is ever better than 3 stars.
What? No, like the 3-star reviews are the most honest ones because 1 star is always end of the world, doomsday, oh no, Rose is trapped in another dimension, and the 5-star reviews are always, oh my god, I love Jodie Whittaker, she's great. Like they don't qualify why things are exactly, like I don't understand the context.
You need someone to have reviewed at least like 12 different toasters to have like a baseline of what they consider a 5-star toaster to be.
Kind of, but like, why is it the other side is like a stale piece of bread? Like I imagine it'd be slightly, like lightly crusted, kinda, and that's not stale. So like, unless this is just putting in stale bits of bread and going like, well, why isn't this working?
Well, I find it curious, just like you buy a toaster, right? And unless it like burns your house down, how is it that you feel passionately enough about a toaster to log on to the store that you bought it from and give it a review, you know?
I don't know if you've bought things before, but sometimes when I shop online, I sometimes get follow-up emails going like, hey, you want to review this product? And I always go...
I promptly delete every single one of those without even looking at what product it was that I bought.
I look at it just to remember what I bought.
So I still don't understand how you would be so passionate about your toaster that you would give it a review.
I could only assume it's sort of this self-importance.
I feel particularly the middling reviews are the most curious because it's like it's not that you're passionate enough, you feel strongly enough about this toaster that you give it a review, but not so strongly that you would say you hate it or love it. It's just, this is an okay toaster, but felt at a level that I have never felt anything for a toaster. Here's this toaster. It is a Cambrook wide slot toaster, 2-slice white.
It looks like shit.
Well, you say that, but I would...
Super deal. Cheap, stylish, and most importantly, works great. It toasts evenly, and 6 intensity modes do actually make an impact on how crispy you want your toast to be. Worth noticing, it has a little tray on the bottom to clean all breadcrumbs. Very handy.
Well, how about that? I thought I saved this one because I thought that would be very useful to you. The little tray.
The bottom one about the tray. Yes, the one we had a tray. When it builds up and chunks of bread are falling off, pulling out that tray is a nightmare. So thank you, nameless reviewer.
Well, here's 2 other reviews for that same toaster.
If they discuss this tray, I'm gonna scream.
Well, is the price isn't listed there. So the price of this toaster is $21. I just want you to keep that in mind for these that 5-star review and this 5-star review.
It makes toasts. You put the bread in, bread comes out toasted. 10 out of 10. Would buy again.
How do you feel about this toaster so far?
I feel like two sources saying it's good isn't enough. Like, we need a trend of what's a ridiculous number? 7.
50.
Oh, okay, 50 then.
Well, here's a 2-star review.
You get what you pay for. This toaster made great toast until one of the things that holds the toast in place stopped retracting. Now one side holds the toast slightly on an angle, so that one side burns and the other stays untoasted. If you happen to get one that's not defective, it works surprisingly wonderfully. Hopefully yours doesn't end up breaking like ours did.
I relate to this.
Is this the toaster for you, do you think?
I don't know. This seems like a contender based on 2 reviews minus 1.
So one review says it's good.
Yeah, that's how math works.
So we'll add it to the list then.
I think as a good follow-up, I found this one.
Oh.
It is Cambrook A Perfect Fit 4-slice wide slot toaster in white. So it's literally that one but bigger.
I like how it's got A in the title though. Something about that just seems off. Cambrook, a perfect fit.
I don't know why I looked at this one, because I'm not going to cook 4 pieces of toast. I'm not like a 4 toast person.
Make a toast sandwich.
I could do that with just 2.
You could, but you could have 2 sandwiches.
Yes, but I could also just have 1, and if I wanted a second one, make a second one. And then enjoy that first one while I'm making the second one. It's amazing the things humans can do when they actually put their minds to it.
I think you're just making this too complicated.
1 star. Terrible.
I bought this a few months ago and have been so unhappy. Burns edges of toast and cooks only one side. Do not get this toaster. It is cheap and terrible.
And 1 person found that helpful.
I can only see the image that you've got here, but it does look like it doesn't have a middle section based on that one image.
Here's another one.
Bought this toaster a few weeks ago. Not a good toaster. Only toast one side. I do not recommend this toaster.
Another 1-star review.
Agree with other comments. Burns the edges of the toast and only does one side. A terrible purchase.
This one, like this final one I found for the Cambrook 4-slice. 1 star.
Buy a Sunbeam instead. At least that one is working.
I like you got like a war in the toast fandom.
Yeah.
You got Sunbeam fella over here coming over like a missionary.
Imagine simping for a toaster.
Now there's a man I feel who knows his toast.
Quite unfortunate.
So passionate. This is what I mean though. Is like they're so passionate about their toast that they know the quality of the different brands. You know.
No, I think only some people do, and it's very weird. What that means is this person bought this toaster, then it didn't work, so they bought something else, and then came back to review this one.
Here's the thing, like, I don't even know what my toaster is. It's red and it does 2 slices, and that's all I can tell you about it. Like, I don't know what my toaster is. If I were to say, like, do you recommend your toaster? I could say, I mean, it's fine. It's a toaster.
Would you be able to say where you bought it from, though?
I think Kmart, maybe.
I like that we're spending all this time and effort to try and find a good toaster. Well, not even. Like, we're not going to find a good toaster, let's be honest. Unless you've got, like, the holy grail.
Oh, I've got some bangers in here. I've got some bangers.
I can hope so. But it's like, I'm probably just going to end up at Kmart.
No, if we find a toaster that you like in this, we're buying it for you.
After reading that last review, I specifically went and found a Sunbeam.
This is... I must admit that this is a sexy looking toaster.
The Sunbeam Alania 4-slice toaster, dark canyon black. I think it looks too much.
Too much?
Yeah, there's too much going on here. Like, I get that those are all knobs and stuff for settings, but like, that's too much.
It does somewhat look like they've just fused 2 toasters, but I think that's good because you don't always want 4 slices of toast, you know? You might just want 2.
Yeah, but I feel like the power difference isn't going to be that big if you get a 4 slice that only has the 1 push down thing, and there's just 2 empty grates. What's very interesting is this is a total 4.5-star reviews.
That's a very positively reviewed toaster.
Yeah, so let's see what the worst thing I could find
out
about
of
it
all
was.
19 reviews.
Yeah, it was a long search. So this is a paragraph and a half.
That's a very passionate review.
Yes, and there's an interesting detail that I'm going to send in a second that gets to a larger point on the types of people I think get super passionate about this. So this is 1 star, cooks unevenly.
We bought this toaster a few months ago as a replacement for our much-loved 8-year-old DeLonghi Gloss Black 4-slice toaster, and so sorry we did. We thought Sunbeam was a good brand. However, this toaster cooks unevenly. The defrost and reheat options don't seem to be any different than the normal toast function. The positioning of the dial seems to no effect on the outcome. Have to flip the toast so that it's evenly cooked. The toaster feels flimsy and the chrome is very thinly coated. Within a couple of months, the paint on the front of the toaster has several small chips. Obviously, the bread we're using must have sharp edges. We are a couple in our 60s and the only ones who use this toaster. Our previous DeLonghi went to the tip looking as good as it did when we first purchased. Should have gone with the quality option. One bonus, this toaster probably won't last more than 12 months, and I'll revisit DeLonghi. There are better options for the price. So disappointed.
And this cost them $99.
Can I just point out the line, we are a couple in our 60s and the only ones who use the toaster. Like, what are they expecting? Like, are they inviting their friends over and being like, hey, Beatrice, can I use the toaster? Oh, yeah, sure, love. You just sit there using the toaster like, gonna fucking scratch the shit out of this though. Like,
so I to get to the larger point, like, I'm gonna push aside the we must be using sharp bread bit. God bless the 65 and over female demographic for their ultra passion.
Ultra passionate. The old people, they're the only people who can be doing this.
Like,
I want to know who the hell is she thinking is going to sabotage her toaster? Like,
grandchildren.
It's like the specificity of that line. It sounds like she just doesn't let anyone who's not either her or her husband use the toaster. It's like, no, you may not use my toaster. I will toast the bread for you.
I imagine, like, her partner would just be sort of like fiddling with the dials and she'd just sort of slapping. It's like, no, Harold, stop fiddling with the toaster.
Even Harold isn't allowed to use the toaster.
You fool, you set it to defrost. So this toast is terrible, apparently.
I don't want to be in that household. She scares me.
Do you have a Sunbeam?
Let's have a look. Let's see if I've got a Sunbeam. So I want you to have a look at this toaster, and I want you to note right off the bat how ugly that is.
It's like the Absorbaloft of toasters.
Somebody's pissed on that toaster. That's not yellow. That is.
Oh no,
that is the color of piss.
Like this is C-3PO's sex toy.
And I wanted you to note that how ugly it is right off the bat, because I mean, just have a look at these images. Like, they've done a professional modeling photo shoot with this toaster. Like, and they've clearly photoshopped it into the background as well. And have a look at that little yellow little yellow taxi in every single photo.
The thing is, with stuff like that, I love that. I would buy this simply for the shits and giggles. It's so terrible.
It's beautiful.
I would leave a tub of margarine open next to it just so the yellow vibes. If this came in red, I would buy it. Which is very interesting because I said the Sunbeam was too much.
I think this one does come in red, but I'm not sure. But we've got the actually meeting up to your standards. A 3-star review.
Could be better. Looks stylish.
Looks stylish.
Looks stylish.
I thoroughly disagree, but I think it literally looks like piss, but
Looks stylish, however, doesn't work well. I have to literally watch it like a hawk to ensure the toast is not burnt. To date, haven't been able to get a perfect toast in a single go even once, despite twiddling the dials. Disappointing model from a renowned brand.
Okay, so that puts a steam on DeLonghi. Like, they're a renowned brand.
I do like that looks stylish but doesn't work well gets a 3-star review.
Yeah, well, I've spent a lot of time in the art world.
Apparently we get 3 stars on a toaster just for looking wet nice. But from somebody who thinks a toaster that like looks like piss is stylish, I can see how they might have their priorities all wrong. We've got a 1-star review of this same toaster.
Okay.
Faulty toaster. Doesn't work. Arrived scratched. The product arrived with a scratch on the chrome and it works terribly. No matter what setting I use, I need to put the toast down twice, then watch it on lowest setting. Then it burns within seconds, even though first time barely toasted. Uneven cooking also. I've had issues returning things before, so I figure Amazon wouldn't allow me to return what I believe to be a faulty toaster. Don't buy this toaster from Amazon or anywhere.
I'm amused in this review by that on the review of the toaster, they mentioned that it arrived scratched. Like, surely that's a shipping issue.
I think that improves it.
Yeah, well, it's got less piss on it, so that's a bonus. But I mean, like, surely it arriving scratched has nothing to do with the quality of the toaster itself. Like, why would you mention this?
Well, it's kind of like the scales that we got at work a while back. It's like they don't sit balanced, but they still work.
Yeah.
So it's like we would still criticize the fact that it arrived and it was a bit wonky.
But that is literally a problem with the product. This is the chrome has been scratched.
Look, if you're buying this, you're literally buying it because you want this horrific first year art student thing in your house for some reason. So like, yeah, you would be more annoyed though.
Judging by the reviews, they clearly don't want to buy it because it toasts well.
Yeah, I can see that. Did you get an age on the reviewer there?
I did not.
Do you want to speculate who they could have been? Maybe a 65 or older female?
I feel like it's probably got to be younger people, just because I don't feel like older people are into piss as much as like the young kinksters are, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
You need to find out if the piss toaster comes in purple.
I will find out if the piss toaster comes in purple, but if it does, I don't care. You're getting a piss toaster.
I don't want a piss toaster.
Well, that's too bad for you, isn't it?
Well, I just want this knowledge. Give me this juicy knowledge bomb.
Let me just look it up for you right now. Color name, yellow.
Yes, I'm glad it tells me what the name of the color is.
Yellow is literally the cheapest they have.
Possibly the worst.
You've got yellow, which is $129.
Jesus!
The next most expensive is you have azure and orange, which are $132.
What the
Red is $135 and blue is $149.
Oh.
If you want a blue toaster, that is $20 more expensive than a piss toaster.
Hang on, what's the difference between a blue and an azure toaster?
The blue toaster is black.
That's not blue.
I'm just telling you what it's listed as, and it's listed as blue.
Were the developers colorblind?
Well, they made a piss toaster. I don't know if they could see at all.
Yeah.
Do you have another one for me, or?
I have another Sunbeam, and then we'll go to the positive DeLonghi.
Okay.
This is a Sunbeam long slot 4-slice toaster, stainless steel. Surely there were better images, but I went with the one that is it's a solid chunk of metal. You can imagine exactly what it's like.
I can see the reviews on this one aren't incredibly.
Yeah, so this is possibly the one that I would go with, simply because at least people are being honest. 1 star. Annoying product.
I bought this toaster in January. All of the numbers and writing has worn off. If you run it more than twice to toast 8 pieces of bread, the second cycle always burns the toast. Last night my wife screamed and sprayed a cockroach and it fell into the toaster. And I'm trying to remove it. And I'm having to unscrew the bottom and twist the tabs to do that. However, there is one stud-like fastener that seems impossible to remove. Never buying a Sunbeam toaster again.
There's a cockroach.
There's the cockroach in the... You know what? Just turn the toaster on, burn the cockroach, job done.
Why not turn the toaster upside down and shake it out?
I don't know. You tell me. Why not do that? Surely that would get rid of some crumbs, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would, but it would also create a huge mess. Whereas a single cockroach seems like this makes more sense.
Are you familiar with the concept of a bin or a sink?
Yes, but if you're shaking something, crumbs are going to go everywhere.
How high up are you shaking? Are you standing on a ladder and shaking it over the top, or like you shaking it above your head or something? Just like put it over the top and just give it a bit of a jostle.
Well, I'm only 5'7". How else do you expect me to reach the top of a bin? Okay, next. 1 star review. Simultaneously burns and undercooks.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. Attached photos are 2 sides of the same piece of toast. It always does this. Completely uneven along the length and sides. It burns sections on lowest setting, normal white bread, and doesn't toast at all on lowest setting.
But these are the pictures of the toast that this toaster makes.
That first image looks fine, except for the crispy outside.
I don't think these are good though.
I feel like
how inconsistent.
They are inconsistent, but I feel like a lot of this is, I feel like you could probably just save yourself some time.
And buy a better toaster.
Well, not just buy a better toaster, but like, if you're already putting it on for 2 cycles, right? Just put the setting lower, and then when the toast comes up, just flip it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I imagine that would come with its own problems, because what I will agree with every review that has negatively approached the toaster is, sure, they have these settings, but it is very finicky.
Here's the thing. I've dealt with many toasters in my life.
I don't care about your experience with toasters. You're completely biased in this regard.
I've dealt with many toasters in my life. I've never had problems like any of these reviews are talking about.
Well, I'm glad that I'm offering you insight into different experiences. We don't all live in a bubble, Jack.
Look, toast just isn't that hard. Like, toast is the easiest thing in the world. You put it in the toaster and you figure out what your toaster does. I've got a shitty Kmart toaster. How am I with my Kmart toaster doing so much better than people with these like fucking $90 DeLonghi bullshit toasters? Like,
well, it really comes down to, what was the lesson of Ratatouille? No one can cook or something like that.
I don't know what. Why you
anyone can cook, but only
What's the lesson of Ratatouille? I don't know. No one can cook. No, sorry, exactly the opposite of that. That's right.
This is my brain on mush. I have some more.
Give us more for this Sunbeam.
Okay, another 1-star review. Look for another toaster.
Bought this 2 months ago and have not enjoyed one slice of toast so far. Burns the crust and doesn't brown the bread part. Waste of money and time. I'm returning this toaster and will buy another brand. Thought Sunbeam was one of the better brands.
So again, we've gone from shitting on what was the one we started on?
Pretty sure we started on
It was a Cambrook said to go buy a Sunbeam. The Sunbeam said buy a DeLonghi. The DeLonghi looks like garbage, and now we're back at Sunbeam. And Sunbeam saying go look somewhere else.
Perhaps go look for another DeLonghi.
Yeah, we've got a positive DeLonghi coming up.
I'd be very interested to see it.
Another one. 1 star.
Doesn't toast evenly. Just open this toaster today. Went through half a log of bread trying different settings. But regardless, all toasted unevenly. Very disappointed.
What a fucking maniac! Darling, the new toaster's in. Quick, fetch me the whole fucking loaf of bread.
I quite like this because it's like, how many settings does a toaster have that you would go through half a loaf? I also like that they refer to a loaf as a log.
I know. Everything about that was brilliant. That just seems like a
Harold, you've
maniac.
defrosted a whole half a log again.
Can you just imagine him sitting there after his little experiment with a pile of burnt toast, just frowning at a toaster? Yeah, I know. And he's just frowning at the toaster, wearing a fucking lab coat, smoke coming out of the toaster. Like, oh, this hasn't gone well at all. Please, can you go find that review again? I want to see what else I want to see if this man has bought another toaster.
I will do that after we get through our list.
I am looking for... I've got a Sunbeam, and I'm looking for it. All right, here it is. Let's just... no, that's not it. I feel like we've been very mean to Sunbeam. I think maybe we end this little Sunbeam jaunt.
That looks like...
Well, so did the piss toaster.
Yeah, but this, like, that purposefully looked like shit. This looked like someone
What do you mean purposely looked like shit? But... We're gonna make a toaster, right? And we want it to sell. Do we have our designers have any idea? Yeah, make it look ugly as... Oh, okay.
Oh, hang on. I want to go back to the one that I just said, because I'm just on their page now looking for that one that I found about the whole log. And I found another one. 1 star from 4 months ago.
Worst toaster ever. Exchanged first one, same problem as second one, but worse. Had one last year too. Bought because the size and design really suits my needs. Obviously, some of the heating elements do not work at all, and some are faulty, as you never know what you're going to get. Burnt, undercooked, uneven toasting. Same problem with all three. Have a cheap, no-name brand toaster that beats this hands down. Lesson learned. Ever again.
You bought 3 of the fucking things.
What I like about this is that Sunbeam responded.
Thank you for sharing your experience, and we're disappointed to hear the heating elements of the long slot toaster have produced uneven toasting. We want to help, and if you don't mind, we would love to hear from you.
What are they planning on doing?
I don't know. Sending them another one?
So we can have a 4th Sunbeam.
Oh, fuck. I'm finding great ones now. This is the 4-star review from 6 months ago.
4-slice toaster? Yes, queens!
And this is from a guy called Ben.
This 4-slice toaster has improved toast consumption by 50% while reducing toast-related knife fights by at least 20%.
What the fuck?
Sometimes I dream about life with an 8-slice toaster. But eventually I sigh and put such child fantasy aside.
I'm glad that the shit posters have even gotten to the toaster reviews.
I'm just glad we're here to document it.
I can't believe the hubris of man would even dream of an 8-slice toaster.
Those don't exist, I'm pretty sure. Or if they do, they shouldn't.
I found one that looks exactly like the Sunbeam you just sent me. I'm going to read out a couple of reviews I found.
Okay. While I'm doing that, I'm going to eat a donut.
You eat a donut? That sounds like a good idea. I wish I had a donut.
It's a pink one. Yep, I recognize this look.
Does that not... It's exactly the same, isn't it?
No, it's not, but it's close enough. In that it's a slab of metal that sometimes cooks bread. And honestly, what more could you want from Breville Bitmore Toaster, Brushed Stainless Steel, BTA 440BSS?
Okay, well, we've got a 5-star review here.
Love it. Love Breville products, and we had an older model of this toaster. The long slots are helpful as we can toast sourdough bread slices, which are thick and long. I'm a fan of the bit more button because it gives you those extra seconds to get the bread toasted but not burnt.
I like this because they've loved this toaster enough that they basically just bought another model of it after their old toaster died.
See, I'm all for brand loyalty if it is a working product.
Well, have this other 5-star? Yes, 5-star. The toaster created on the 7th day.
Toasting quicker than a supernova, this bad boy perfectly toasts. At a whole new level, the culinary game of breakfast has been enhanced by the little bit more function, allowing perfect toasting for the discerning breakfaster. Took it for a test toast, then unleashed this beast on my unsuspecting family. Actual quote from my wife, "This toast is so good, I'm giving it to the dogs." Enough said.
I honestly can't tell if this is a shit post or not.
It kind of has to be. I don't think this person is a religious person, because they would know that the 7th day was a day of rest. So if something was made on the 7th day, it's an abomination.
How better to rest than with the perfect toast?
I would have made it on the 6th day then. The fact that it's on the 7th day implies that this is the toaster from hell.
I think God's just a poor planner, and he made a toast on the 7th. He made the perfect toaster on the 7th day, just so he could chill.
I will agree with exactly the start of the sentence.
I suppose we better balance that out by a user called Get Swifty, so you can take everything this person has to say with a grain of salt.
As opposed to all these other people.
Yes, and their review is a toaster that can't toast.
Do you like bread or burnt toast? If yes, then this is a toaster for you. For anyone that likes something between bread and burnt toast, look elsewhere.
And I like that one. It's like a handy little guide, you know?
I'm just looking at this toaster created on the 7th day and noting that this review was posted on New Year's Day. Oh, this was the day we saw Cats. While we were watching Cats, this person reviewed a toaster.
You are correct. I still think it was an interesting move for them to have Jason Derulo jizz over the entire cast.
Why must you remind me these things?
Just because it entertains me. Alright, so this shitty-ass Sunbeam that I sent you.
Yes.
Well, I figure we'll end on the shittiest looking toaster that they have. As far as I can see. But customers are quite happy with it.
2 weeks in and no issue or complaint whatsoever. Really quick toasting, feels sturdy and makes really nice toasts. Totally worth the price, you get what you pay for.
Okay.
And then we've also got
toast cooked perfectly every time. We've had a 2-slice toaster before and really liked the way it toasted. That's why we bought this one, after using cheaper toasters for a while. A good investment if you like toast that is still soft inside, not dried out and brittle.
I like that review particularly because of just how specific they went into the creation of toast.
Yeah,
if you want it nice and soft inside, nice and soft, not brittle or dry.
Diamond cut.
Diamond cut. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
I really like the bit where they said, we have had a 2-slice toaster before.
We've had a 2-slice toaster before.
Like, oh.
Yeah, that's the thing that got me. Is like, if they had a 3-slice toaster, it would have thrown off all of everything. Like, it wouldn't have worked for some reason.
I just like that. We've had a 2-slice toaster before. Like, is this really worth noting? Like, yes, we're all familiar with toasters. Like, I can only assume that they think that the 4-slice toaster is like the norm.
I think, like, my household had a 4-slice toaster.
Yeah.
And even I don't think a 4-slice toaster is the norm.
Yeah. Like,
it's like, why would you? Most people only ever make toast for themselves.
And even in a household like mine, filled with people that are really awesome, and they're like, hey, I'll make you some toast. It's like, they'll make your toast, and then they'll make their own toast. And then they can just do 2 separate things of toast. It makes me feel like people who buy like 4-slice toasters, they're just like, hey, do you want some toast? And you're like,
hey babe, I'm making some toast.
Hey, I'm making some toast. Do you want some? Oh, I'll be all right. No, but really, do you want some toast? Oh, I think I'll be okay. Look, here's the thing, right? I want to use both things, and I can't do that if I'm only making toast for myself.
I mean, you could just put 1 slice in each.
Just have them on 2 opposite ends.
Yeah, they're social distancing toast. That actually reminds me of something. I don't know why it reminds me of it, because it's not related at all. Which is kind of typical, but...
So I'm glad you're bringing it up, but go ahead.
I don't want to now.
Well, too bad. We're not moving on until you do.
I've moved out now, so getting a toaster would actually be kind of useful. But one of the things that I bought was a carton of milk, and I had that delivered. I didn't just buy a carton of milk, but I specifically ordered a liter of milk, thinking, yeah, that's about as much as I would drink in maybe a week, considering I only use it for tea. And now I just have 2 liters in my fridge, because they sent me 2 liters when I asked for 1.
Well, I'm glad you told that story. I feel enlightened. My life is so much better for having heard that. A true tale of woe. A man who has 2 liters of milk instead of 1. I just, it's nice having updates on your life once in a while. Like the fact that the only time I found out that you had actually moved out of home was in a story about having 2 cartons of milk. That's what it took to let me know that you'd moved out.
Well, that's better than most people. Like, I haven't told basically anyone.
Are there any other, significant life events that you would like to hide inside of otherwise uneventful stories? Am I going to find out that you had a girlfriend because you went and bought a slice of bread somewhere? Like, you're like, oh, I didn't want any bread, but my girlfriend did, so we went, oh, good. The only interesting part of this story is that you've now got a girlfriend. Like,
I dropped my phone.
Oh, I just feel like the priorities of half of these people are wrong. It's like, I'm not.
Well, yeah, obviously they're reviewing toasters. When were they right?
Something has gone very wrong in these people's lives.
Yes, it's when companies decided to let them have an opinion on things and post it. I want
to add a little button to these sites. I want to add a little. It's going to be like a little star shape, because it's going to be like, named after that age-old quote. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them, but you shouldn't show it to other people. Have a little starfish sort of button to represent the asshole. So it's like, was this review helpful? It's like, yes, no, or you didn't need to take the time to share this.
Well, I mean, there's 3 options actually. It's like, was it helpful? Yes, no, and report.
Can I report?
So it's like, it's either you don't think it's helpful or you take it to a higher authority.
I'd like to report this for being incredibly dull. Well, we have here today the Russell Hobbs RHT94 COP Brooklyn Toaster 4-slice copper.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either, because it sounds like it's going to arrest me.
It looks like if the buttons on the side were different colors, this would be Reggie Gigas as a toaster.
You make a fair point, and all of a sudden I'm into it. Seriously, you could fix it with just a bit of paint. So I could only find the lowest review I found of this toaster was 4 stars.
That's actually kind of good.
We give you the lowest one first.
Doesn't toast evenly on both sides.
That's a 4-star. That it doesn't toast evenly on both sides gets a 4 stars.
I like that for the ones that I've been finding, that's been a 1-star review that doesn't toast evenly.
Looks good, only gets 4-star rating. I found a cheaper toaster that toasts the bread evenly on both sides. Better than this toaster does.
There was absolutely no punctuation in that review whatsoever.
Excellent.
But then we've also got the next 5. The next one's a 5-star review.
Classy toaster. Present for my daughter. She loved it.
Oh, okay, so when you said present for my daughter, I took present as the other one, like it was there for her.
Like what? Her boyfriend's just left her and the toaster's there patting her on the back like it's okay.
Yeah.
Plenty more. There's plenty more toast in the loaf. Like
we've only got half a log left.
Even as far as like, you know, like sometimes like you'll move out and then like your birthday presents are all just like functional things. Like even as far as functional presents go, how fucking boring is a toaster?
I don't know. I don't have one, so I don't know whether or not to be excited.
I'll buy you a toaster.
No, I have to.
And wrap it up. And then I'm going to buy it for you and then I'm going to film you opening it and see how excited you are to open up a toaster. Have you got another review for us?
Yes, I do. I don't like the name of this one. So this is the Smeg Slot 4-slice toaster in chrome. And it has Smeg in big letters.
You need to,
This might be the one.
You need to put some mayonnaise on your toast. The review, it's got 2 stars as its general review.
Okay, so I have 3 reviews from this. 1 star.
Doesn't brown the bread. We tried 2 of these and neither toasted the bread to a brownie toast level. It heated the bread, which was a multigrain sourdough. Very disappointing, as it is a beautiful looking machine.
I love that. Just everything about that is just so much better in the context that the thing itself is called Smeg. The Smeg doesn't brown things appropriately.
I haven't even received a call regarding my toaster, and I have spent 12 weeks trying to follow it up. I am still yet to get a call to notify me when I'm able to pick it up.
12 weeks on a fucking toaster.
It's not even reviewing the toaster, it's the process.
Smeg is having difficulty delivering.
Waiting. Sent the wrong item and was told to go to a store to exchange. It has been ordered and waiting for it.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get you a Smeg. Well, I had one that I thought, I saw it and I immediately thought of you.
Have we already done the Breville, the bit more plus 4-slice toaster?
Yes, I sent, I did a few.
Okay, because I found, turns out I have some from that.
I've had this toaster 3 times, replaced twice under warranty. It is a dud. Do not buy it. The toast burns no matter what setting. The spring mechanism wire faulty on all 3 toasters. Not happy.
You didn't like it the first time. Why did you get 2 more?
In case they fixed it.
Just give up, get a new toaster.
Smoke alarm goes off every time we make toast. Always burns. And crumbs everywhere because it doesn't have a tray installed. So stupid.
And this is the one review that I kept teasing. It's like, this is beautiful.
You had one job, toaster. This thing operates outside of all laws of science and nature. If you enjoy your toast with black burnt crusts or with nice brown crusts and never having graduated from bread in the center, then this is a toaster for you. Forget trying to use this toaster twice in a row. This morning, 4 slices, underdone. Next 2 burnt on the same setting. Chucked them out and tried again with the setting dialed down. Burnt again. Unbelievable. Admitted defeat and sat down to my unevenly charred toast. Only got this toaster in April 2020, but don't think it'll see out the year.
See, it gets into ultra-specific pros.
Honestly, that review made me want to buy that toaster.
Like, when you accompany that with smoke alarm goes off every time we make toast, just all these giant red flags go like, what is happening?
You need to get that toaster and figure out what the fuck is wrong with it. Okay, well, I have just one more toaster for you.
Okay.
And when I was browsing through the toasters, and I saw this one, and I immediately thought of you, because how have you been like when you have toast, right? Nowadays, how do you make your toast nowadays? Like
in a grill.
Process? Make it in a grill, right?
Yeah, there's a tray that pulls out from the so the grill is attached to an oven. Pull out the tray for the grill, put some bread on, put it in, light the grill. Like, there's a number of processes you can go for with a grill. It is very flexible.
Well, I saw this and I thought of you because I thought the process of using it should be familiar to you. And I want you to have a look at this and tell me what you see.
I see the Russell Hobbs RHTOV 10BLK Bake Expert Mini Toaster Oven Black. A grill.
It's just a desktop toast grill. So I thought this would be perfect. Yeah, and they didn't leave like a written one. It was just, they just rated it 5 stars and left. And that was it. So there's no written reviews for this thing. So I thought what would be perfect is we can get you this toaster and you can use it. And then you can be the first person to leave a written review for it.
I mean,
I think we should get you this toaster.
Really? Because I have one more. Like, I'm not against getting a grill.
Hey, that looks like my toaster.
But this is, 2-slice stainless steel toaster.
That might be my toaster.
This is a 1-star review.
Excellent value for money. I've had this toaster for a week and its performance is great. It browns the toast perfectly. The timer setting, spot on. The halfway setting is just right. It adds a bit of colour to the bench top at breakfast time. For $29, it's a bargain. Pros, easy to use. Yes, I'd recommend this product.
That's a 1-star review.
What is a 5-star?
I don't know.
What?
How do you wake up in the morning, look to that toaster and go, I love it so much. 1 star. Unless this person is so mentally unstable that they're like, yeah, 1 is the best number. It came first.
Ah, my head hurts.
The quality is at 3 out of 5.
This toaster is perfect. 1 star.
I think this one looks good though. Like, if it wasn't this horrible vivid red, I would definitely be like,
I think that's the toaster that I have, and also it's the same color as my kettle.
You need an interior decorator to like just give your life a makeover.
I think you're going to come around to my house, and I'm going to be seeing you're totally wrong about that, and you're going to take one look around and then just leave.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So, after all of this, how do you feel about? Do we have a winner? Do we have a toaster for you? Do we have...
It's more important to wonder, do we have a loser?
Yes, it was whoever wrote that last review. They're the loser. Steve B, you are the loser of this episode.
I don't know. Which one do you think is the best? Because obviously I'm 5 years clean of toasters. I say that like I've had an addiction to toasters and I'm 5 years sober.
For my money, I would say it's the Breville. I think, like, it might not be a very good toaster, but certainly it's an important scientific discovery, and therefore I think it wins. As far as actual toast goes, it's either the Smeg or the stainless steel.
But all the Smeg ones were terrible.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's Smeg. I think for you, the Russell Hobbs Bake Expert Mini Toaster Oven Black, I think that's the toaster for you.
Right. So I guess I'm off to buy a grill.
Yes, you are.
Toaster. Found. Oh, it's only like $50. That's pretty good.
There you go.